Welcome to Wives on the Island. I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Jessica. And together, we are discussing our lives as wives and moms, parenting topics, and pop culture at our own islands at home. When we first started this podcast, we were recording at our kitchen islands, but now we have children running around and we had to move to our guest rooms.
So we are back doing this podcast literally 6 years later. We started in October 2019. COVID happened not too long after that, so we stopped it. But Jessica and we were coworkers who turned best friends, and we were like, we just have so much fun talking when we should be working. So we decided to do this podcast. And at the time, I was just a wife. Now I'm a mom. But at the time, I was just a wife, hence Wives on the Island, because when you go to somebody's house, you're always chatting around the island. It's just, you walk in and you're like, here's my food I brought, and you just kind of stay at the island. We want to also not only talk about our lives and catch up, also talk about wife life and talk about mom life. There's so many things about parenting styles, technique, just experiences. We have to talk about it. So what you can expect at Wives on the Island is we're going to just do a weekend wrap up, and then we will go ahead and do a parenting topic. And then we would love to open this up to get some listeners asking for advice. Submit it to our Instagram, Wives on the Island, or email us at wivesontheisland@gmail.com. And we would love to get submissions so we can just either give you advice or just open it up to the floor on social media, or our listeners can just chime in and see if anybody else, maybe we don't experience it, but maybe somebody else has. We'll call that wife wisdom. And then we will wrap it up by giving you our top 2 topics in pop culture. So, Jessica, since we haven't done an intro in almost 6 years, do you want to give an intro on yourself, where you're from, anything you'd like?
Yeah, so I'm Jessica. I have 2 girls. They are 15 and 17, so I am right in that getting ready for college, and my oldest daughter will be graduating in May, so it's been an emotional year this year. I'm still working, even though we're not coworkers anymore. I am just so excited to do this again because I feel like we talk every day like through texting, but we don't get to do this, and this is what I miss. So I'm super excited about this.
I know, and before anybody says it or get the comments, everybody says we do look alike. So when you're like, "Oh, it's nice to see you like this," it's like kind of looking in a mirror
Yep,
sometimes.
just a little. So how have things been with you? I mean, like you said, you weren't a mom when we started this, and now you are. So catch them up on the babies.
So, Melissa, I have 2 children. I have a son who is almost 5, and then a daughter who is almost 2, which is crazy to say because I feel like I just had them, but now my son's going to be 5, and I'm like, where'd the time go? I can't even imagine how you feel like sending your oldest off to college, and you're like,
Yeah,
didn't I just have her?
I know. I know.
It's crazy. But yeah, I'm obviously married and now a stay-at-home mom though, which I love. And that will probably be one of our topics since Jessica was also a stay-at-home mom for some times. I don't always plan on being a stay-at-home mom, but would love to get back into corporate America at some point. But in the meantime, I'm really loving this. But I do need a hobby, which hence why this podcast.
Yeah, it's like adult time because you're with your kids all the time. It's a great breakaway.
Yeah, and just like not having my husband be the only one I talk to.
Yeah, I know how that is.
And also, like, as a mom, I feel like it's so hard to make well, let me rephrase that. It's hard to make new friends as an adult. And then to be a stay-at-home mom, it's even harder to make friends. So it's nice to talk to somebody that you already knew pre-kids and be able to like just fall back into the routine with them.
Yeah.
I will say, since being a stay-at-home mom, I have joined like a mom's club in my area, which has helped me meet new people who live very close to me And a lot of kids are the same age as my kids, which has been really helpful. So it's it's been good. I wished I knew about this when my son was born, especially because it was like during that COVID time.
Yeah.
But since it was during that COVID time, it's always just like him and my husband and I. But now with my daughter, I'm like, what do I do with you? Like, I don't have another a parent here to help me. And now my son's in preschool. So I'm like, what do I do with you? So it was a really good thing to be able to and also learn. So I'm not from here, you're not from here either.
Right.
We live in Georgia, but I'm originally from New Jersey, and I don't know like kids things here. So I'm learning as these moms are scheduling play dates at these different parks and different play, indoor play gyms and whatnot. I'm learning where to go to take my kids. So it's like allowing me to learn these new places, which is really nice.
That's awesome. That
I'm
is.
sure
That
you've
is.
learned found new places that your kids are interested in too.
Yeah, there's definitely parks and stuff like that. You know that we run. So, we go to different parks every weekend to run.
Mhm.
And I hate it, but I know I need to do it. But yeah, my kids love finding new parks and different trails to run and stuff like that. And then now that our kids are older, we're doing a lot more date nights and we're going to different places in the city around where we live. So it is nice exploring different areas that we weren't doing before.
Yeah, I'm excited for that part of parenting. So, speaking of running, let's talk about what's going on in our lives because we are both not runners, but we did sign up. I mean, you say you're not a runner and you hate it, but you literally do how many 5Ks throughout the year? At least a minimum of two, but you run what, four
Yeah.
times a week?
Yeah, but it's not by choice. Again, it's not by choice. My family likes doing it, so I do it with them. But I am so slow, Alyssa. Like my family, and I always say like my family's so fast, and my husband's like, I'm not really that fast. And I'm like, you're done before me. Like. 10 minutes before me, and I've started before you. Like, I leave earlier than they do so that I finish around the same time that they do, and they're still faster than me. So I don't mind doing it. I like doing it. I need the exercise. So it's like, oh, it's a positive thing to do. I was like, but every time I get out there, I'm like, God.
First of all, what's your average mile?
So like I said, when I do 2 miles, it's like 12 minutes. And I'm like, yes, I'm fast, right? But then I add that third mile in there to do for the 5K, and it's like 13 to 14. There are sometimes, if there are hills, it's 15 because I walk. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have the stamina to run up a hill. But,
I feel like
you know,
13 is the average. I mean, like 13 and a half. I mean, I'm an average runner too. So, like, I'm a 13, d- like 12:50 on a good day,
yeah,
So, like, but I think that's like an average like pace. We have to put this up on like our story on Instagram. Like what are people running? But I think the key, like you said, is running a 5K because
right,
on that third mile, what's your average? It's going to bring it down.
right.
So I
Yep,
think that's important to like include, like you said, you're 12, around 12 for 2 mile, which
right.
that's really, for me again, I'm agreeing with you because I'm the same, like, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm an average runner as well. So I don't know, maybe it is a slow.
I don't know. Like, I think what it is that I compare, and I know, like, when you like go on like all the running like pages on Facebook and stuff like that, and they're like, you don't run against anybody else but yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but when a 70-year-old grandma is passing me on my 5K, my feelings are hurt because I'm like, I should be able to do what she's doing. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I've been running for years. Like since COVID, is when we started running. And I feel like I've gotten slower. Like I don't feel like I'm getting faster. And I know that I've read books and stuff, and it's like you should do intervals, and intervals make you faster and stuff like that. I haven't done it. I probably need to, and I just haven't done it. So
The intervals.
yeah.
I did intervals when I was trying to like lose weight for my wedding because I was plateauing, and I was like, I'm running or I'm walking or I'm doing the elliptical, I'm doing the stairmaster, things like that. But I just did it because it helped, kind of, it's like a hit thing.
Right.
So I don't know about it making you faster, but it definitely helps if you're plateauing with weight loss.
I'm gonna be honest. Once I start breathing hard, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Like I'm like, oh God, I have to stop. I need to rest. So I know that part of that is just pushing
Yeah.
through. But it's like I said, I'm happy that we've signed up for 5Ks. Like I feel like
Yes.
it's a good thing. You know what I mean? And I definitely want to continue doing them, but like I said, there are some in Georgia, there are some hilly courses, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna die going up this hill, you know? And
Yeah. So what are the ones that you always do? The tacos and tequila in May. Shout out to Swanee. I followed
yes,
their tacos and tequila Instagram page, and honestly, whoever's running their social media, round of applause. I'm like, oh, they posted something. I gotta check
I
it
know,
out.
yeah,
I'm
they're
engaged.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's literally just like clips from all of the ones that they've done, and it's like they
Yeah.
look so much fun. And I was like, they just it's just a great. It's like my favorite 5K to run, but we run that one. We do in Peachtree Corners. We do it's called Light Up the Corners, and it's at night, and so it's like a dark run, but it's 4 miles, so it's a little bit
Yeah.
longer than
I
a
may be
5K.
interested in doing that one this year because I know you asked me last year and I was like, no, but I might do it with you this
Yeah,
year.
it's in August,
Hmm.
and and like I said, it's to me, it's in August, so August in Georgia sucks, but
Hmm.
because it's at night, it's not as bad, and they have people who like sit out on the road and like clap for you and like hand you water and stuff, so it's
Hmm.
a good time. So that's our second one, and
Wait,
then
do they paint or something? Do
yeah,
they
you
do
can
like?
get your face painted before if you go a little early, and me and the girls always get our face painted neon. But you can't really see it when you're running, and then when you come back,
Cause
it's like all the sweat dripping down your eyes and stuff. But it's so much fun. It's worth it. And then
yeah.
we like to do. There's one in Atlanta called New Realm. It's a brewery,
Mm,
and they do one, and my kids love that one. I did not like it because it's when you literally come out the gate, it's uphill.
I knew you were gonna
So
say
coming
that.
back down, it's not bad, but it's like you run and it's a lot. But so those are probably the three that we always do. We just didn't do New Realm last year.
Yeah.
So
And I did the tacos and tequila one last year and I did like it. So I was getting ahead of myself. It was my first 5K. That was my postpartum goal. I'm like, I'm gonna run like a legit five. Like I ran 5Ks, like, just a 3.1, but I'm like, I'm gonna sign up for a race and do it. And then I signed up for the tacos and tequila. And then I got like ahead of myself and I was like, I've always wanted to do the Zoo Atlanta one. So I also did that. And thank God I did that one before I did the tacos and tequila because I ran almost the full mile with tacos and tequila. But at the zoo, I was like a quarter mile in and I was like, oh my God, I was not prepared for this. So I felt like that really set me up well because I was dying. I was like, oh my God, thank God Jessica did not sign up for this one with me because I would have been like eating your dust. Like truly, I was so winded, literally 5 minutes in. And I was like, I have another 40 minutes. Like it was bad. But like I said, I'm glad I did that one because I did a little better at the tacos and tequila one. But there's a big hill at the end of the tacos, and oh my God, it's painful.
it
My
is.
heart rate got up so high. I don't even want to tell you the number.
Was it bad?
It was 199.
Oh, hey, look, that hill is serious. And you know
Yeah.
what's funny is that because I know my family is waiting for me, I know I have to run. Like once I come around the corner, I know I have to run. So I
Yeah.
walk that whole time because I was like, I'm going to have to use all of my energy to get up that hill. So I'm like,
Yeah.
as I'm walking to like try to catch my breath. And then once I start seeing people, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Well, when I was coming around the corner, I saw you and I was like, oh my God, if I'm like right next to Jessica, that's like pretty good. And then he started running and I was like, oh. I was like, I gotta run up this hill. And then I started running up the hill and I was like, oh my God, this is rough. This is rough.
It is. It's hard, but it's so fun. And like I said, I mean, I do it because I like the food at the end. So you get three tacos, a margarita, and you listen to Selena.
Yes, more 5Ks should be giving out like rewards.
Yeah.
Like I like the Atlanta Zoo one because I believe that the money that you're paying it goes to the zoo, and I go with my kids to the zoo. Often we're, annual membership owner, pass
Hmm.
whatever holders. So I do feel like I'm like, okay, contributing towards, my entertainment, whatnot. But yeah, I want to sign up for two more in the fall, and it doesn't come with anything. And I'm like, then why am I good at... And then, of course, my husband's like, why don't you just run a 5K instead of paying money to run? And I'm like, it's not the same. You don't understand.
It's not the same because you don't get that finish at the end. Like, it's not
Hmm.
like you feel like you've accomplished something. Like, I pretty much run a 3K every weekend. Like, I do 3 miles on on Saturday and Sunday. And there is no reward at the end of that. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh God, I hate this. But I know
Yeah.
it's exercise and I need it. So I'm like, okay. But getting, even just the medal is great. Like, even when
Yeah.
we did oh God, the bridge run in South Carolina. We did the
Oh,
Cooper
yeah,
River
I
Bridge
remember
run.
that.
There was, they gave us a banana at the end. I got a medal and a banana. And I was like, I ran, it was a 6K. It wasn't even 5K. So I ran and, oh no, I'm sorry. It was a 10K. Sorry. It was a 10K. It's
You're
6 miles.
worse.
And Alyssa, I thought I was going to die. They kept going, the finishing line is right around the corner. And I was like, where the hell is the corner? Because I keep
Wait,
turning.
whose idea was it to run a 10K?
My
Was it your
husband's,
husband?
and then guess what?
Oh,
He had gotten a new job, and for his new job, he had to be at the month end close.
wasn't
So
there?
he couldn't come. So it was me and the girls. And again, my family is faster than me. So I was like, how do I watch my children in this 6 mile run when they have dusted me?
I didn't know your husband didn't do that.
Yes, he did not. He did not because he had just gotten a new job and he was like, I can't. He flew in the day that we after we did it. Like he
Oh
came in
my
2 hours
God.
after the run, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed I didn't get to do it. We should do it again." And I was like, "Sir, I will wait for you at the end, because I just got a banana at the end of that." I mean, my feet, I had blisters. I've never had blisters, and it's because there's more water stations, and I don't know how they are. Like, I feel in like the tacos and tequila run, there wasn't a lot of stuff on the ground, but like these people were just like chucking their water everywhere, and so it was getting on it got in my shoes, and then it rubbed, and then I got a blister, and I was like, this hurt. It was horrible. It was like the worst,
Oh
but
my
it was a
God.
great accomplishment because I
Yeah,
ran 6 miles, so that was good. But it
I don't
was.
think I've ever ran that amount in my
I
entire
mean, I
life
didn't
at
run the
once.
whole time. Just so you know, I was taking
No, no,
pictures
no.
on the bridge and stuff.
I'm just talking about, like, I don't think I've ever, for pleasure, walked or slashed run that
No,
distance
no,
in my life.
no.
Like,
It's the worst. But it was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good time, and I probably would do it again, but I would need to like maybe run
train.
5 miles. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
consistently run 5 miles. And I don't know if you remember, but during COVID, I was running 4 miles, and then I hurt my hip, and
I
it's
remember.
just like the 4 miles. I was like, I don't think I could get back there, or at least it's
Hmm.
it's really hard getting back there.
Yeah. I actually ran today
Did
for the
you?
first time. Yes. So, background story. I was in Aruba for my anniversary with the two kids, and what a beautiful place. Like, for real, what a beautiful place. We got there on a Wednesday, and it was a little crazy because we didn't know where to eat. We went to this restaurant, and it was like, oh, it's adults only. And I'm like, we drove all the way here. Yeah. I'm like, in Aruba, like, it's super family friendly. So I was like, okay. We go have the best Thursday, Friday in Aruba. The sunset was amazing. We had dinner on the beach. The kids are playing in the sand. They're loving it. We got a family picture for the first time because we have all these pictures of, when it was just the three of us. But since my daughter has been born, we just don't have any like really nice family photos, like ones you would print out. And I feel like we got one. And then the next day, my family was also there Thursday and Friday, and then they were flying out on Saturday. And we're like, let's just go to a beach. We go there. It's a little rocky on there. And I say to my husband, I go, yesterday you were in the ocean with our son, and my cousin said some guy stepped on a sea urchin. And he's like, oh my God, really? And I said, yeah. Jessica, 10 seconds later, I step on a goddamn sea urchin. And I yelled so loudly, he thought I was messing with him because I had just said this guy stepped on a sea urchin. And I pulled up my foot behind me and he saw these spikes sticking out of my foot and he was like, just swim back to shore. And we weren't really that deep, so I don't want to be like it was to shore. It was like just swim back to the beach. And as I'm swimming to the beach to get to the shore, I'm thinking I'm gonna die here in Aruba because I did not know that sea urchins aren't deadly to humans. Obviously, they are still poisonous. They just cause, as I know now, they cause an extreme amount of pain. But in this moment, I'm swimming. I'm dying here. Oh my God, my kids are gonna witness me dying. It was literally the most insane pain I've ever felt. As soon as the guy told me, the lifeguard there told me I wasn't gonna die, I like literally had to give myself a pep talk, like, okay, I'm not gonna die. I just like you know, I have had a breast augmentation. I have had two C-sections. I've had a tooth implant that was very painful. I've had deviated septum surgery. I was like, if I can get through that stuff, I can do this. Like, as long as I know I'm not gonna die. And he was like, no, the worst case, you're gonna get maybe a fever. But I did have to go to the hospital. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the hospital and they're just gonna take these things out of my feet. Well, my one foot, thankfully, not both. And I get there and they were like, yeah, you just have to soak your foot in hot water and then they'll come out. And I'm like, what? You can't even get them out. And so I soaked my foot in hot water and I've been soaking my foot in hot water till this day. But I did go to the podiatrist and they were like, yeah, you have to wait 28 days to see if they come out. They gave me a cream. They told me to continue soaking. And I was like, listen, I have 5Ks that I have planned here. What do you think? And they're like, no, not going to happen. But I ran today and I ran the entire first half a mile. And then
Hmm.
I started getting this pain in my toe where I don't even think there was a spine. Oh, and let me also notate that there are still spines in my foot. I was able to pull a big one out on Monday, but there's still, I think, maybe like two, three in there, possibly. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell because, like, my husband has been like trying to help me get him out and he's been digging in my foot basically, like my flesh. And I'm like, I don't know if it hurts because it's healing or if it's because there's still a spine that is pushing into my nerves. So I don't know which one it is, but I was able to run the half a mile. And honestly, if my foot didn't hurt, I truly feel like I could have ran the full mile straight through. And I was like, okay, like that's a good sign. Like my stamina is still there.
Right.
I'm gonna try to do my Zoo 5K, which is April 26th. So that's what, in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think I'll be okay. And I think I'll definitely be okay for our tacos the tequila one.
I think so
So
too. I
I
think so
think
too.
so. I'm also gonna try, I wore my Asics today. I'm gonna try to wear my Hokas. I thought my Asics would be better because they're like thicker,
Hmm.
but the Hokas I feel like are a little more cushiony. I don't know. I'm gonna play around with them and we'll see. But stay tuned for our 5K.
Yes.
You know, I'm so excited. It's May 3rd. Again, tacos and tequila. And I'm gonna go. My family has a birthday party. My husband's gonna take the two kids, but I'm not gonna rush to go again this year because it's at a place and it's at 12 and the 5K's at 11. So I'm just gonna chill this time with you guys.
Okay.
And then hopefully next year they can come.
Is it the same person's birthday that was last year? I need her to change it.
Yeah. So my husband's gonna take the kids
Look at
and I get
him.
to hang out with you guys.
Yay. What I really want to do is because I don't think I've ever done a 5K where I didn't like walk a little bit. So my goal
Mhm.
is to, even if I'm slower, just run the whole time. You know what
I
I mean?
think that's a great goal. And I feel like it's a little more realistic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say realistic because I don't know. But I bet if you run the whole thing even at a like an average pace, it will probably get your speed, well your your average minutes like
Yeah.
down. So, and they go hand in hand, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, it's just that hill that kills me.
Yeah,
It's like,
it is
ugh.
pretty flat, and which I like the whole time because the zoo one it's pretty hilly, but there is a big downhill which you make up your time for. I think I was like 9 minutes on that
Oh,
1 mile because it literally helps you a lot.
yeah,
But then like through the park that's next to the zoo, it's a little hilly, and then going into the zoo, the last half of mile is in the zoo, and it's like uphill and it's rough. But
yeah,
then, like, once you get up the hill, it's flat, but it's still really rough because you're like, at the tail end, and you're like, I'm ready to be done. Same thing as tacos and tequila.
yeah.
So
I always
it
have
is
to.
what
I
it
always
is.
have to sit down. I always have to be like, okay, let me catch my breath. Let me sit down.
I know. I had to lay down
I know.
on the grass last year. It was rough. I'm hoping that, this year honestly my goal was to be faster than I was last year, but with my foot injury I'm honestly just want to be like the same. I'll even give myself like a little minute
Yeah.
clearance for that, but i think I think I'll be fine,
I
hopefully.
think so. I think you'll be fine for it. And like I said, I mean the one positive thing about all of our 5Ks is that you can walk if you need to. Like there's no
Yeah,
shame. We're never going to be the last one. So that's how I look at it. Is I'm never going to be
yeah.
last.
Thanks for tuning in. Head over to our next episode.
Bye.